She said, time heals all wounds, but that does not apply to betrayal.
Right.
And she said, healing needs to be deliberate and intentional. Like you actually have to be deliberate and intentional with your healing.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the transformative combo I had with Dr. Debi Silber in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to the interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Holy freaking moly. We've never had a topic on betrayal.
Nope. First time.
And not only do we have a topic on betrayal, but she is the leading doctor on betrayal. She has so much scientific information. You guys, if you...
TED Talks,
if you
educating from stage, workshops.
Have anyone...
She has an institute.
If anyone in your life is reacting to being betrayed in their life and other things that they're doing, and they keep going, well, I had this ex who did this thing. Holy freaking moly. Send them the episode. It was so informative, so good. And we'll get into it in a second. Anyways, today is April 4th.
Woo. And
it's School Librarian Day. Okay. Of course, we're going to highlight this day because we're all about the books on this podcast. So about this day. The day is observed to recognize the professionals who keep school libraries well-stocked and the books in perfect order. School librarians, I'm just going to say also librarians. If you're a public librarian, this is you too.
Yep.
School librarians spend long hours keeping the library organized. They are also likely to be the first people to help students find the resources they need to learn. Pause. Yes. So many librarians I've heard on the news in the last year are the only safe person to suggest books to a lot of people. Anyways, They also encourage students to pursue reading outside of academic text. School librarians are also responsible for creating an environment where students are motivated to learn. Their work's truly an accomplishment. With that said, if you didn't already know this, in 2024, OPC is supporting the nonprofit organization, the Wheat Penny Press, and their program, Little Readers, Big Change, along with Be It Podcast Rebecca Barucki, who runs it, with every dollar spent. So all you OPC members out there, just know that you are part of providing free and low-cost books, programming, and funding for the creative arts to our most vulnerable communities and their most talented members. Thank you for being an OPC member, and thank you for supporting reading. And we had Danny Brissell on, who talked about how he helps kids want to read, and it's about giving them books that they actually want to read.
That was a fun episode.
I know. We have Nick Hutchison coming up soon,
Nick Hutchison,
guys. It's going to be about how the rise of the reader. Jake Kelfer's for the writers.
Yeah.
And then Nick is actually, you're going to learn how to retain what you're reading.
Yeah.
Danny Brissell helps you get your kids reading. And Rebecca Barucki, who is recently a guest, holy freaking moly, she is making sure that what we're reading is making change. So
pretty rad.
You guys.
Well, anyway, a sincere, heartfelt thank you to all the OPC members out there.
Yeah.
We love being able to donate to different causes. And we've changed. Each year we pick a new cause and we get to donate throughout the year. And so we're really fired up to be supporting Little Readers Big Change.
Yes.
Along with you.
And support your local library. Brad's cousin is a librarian, and she is all about getting me on Libby, getting me to go get my library card and all that stuff. So support the libraries. They're really amazing. And it's just, look, you don't need to scroll so much. So anyways, okay.
Read a book.
This afternoon, so if you happen to listen to this in the morning when it drops, you can still sign up for the Studio Growth Accelerator, which is for Pilates teachers and studio owners who are ready to make some changes in their business, and you want to learn and also work on your business. So you're going to get information and integrate it.
We're going to be running through the proprietary Excel formula, ACCEL. Short for accelerator, y'all. Basically, we're gonna really dig into how do you bring new clients in? How do you work with those clients to make them champions for your business so that they go out into the world and share your business with their relationships? And it's going to be amazing. So if you're looking to jumpstart the growth of your studio, this is a great way to do it. Join me this afternoon. There will be a 3-day replay. And if you miss it, that's okay. If you listen to this late, just DM us because, we'll get you on the wait list for the next time, the next one. Okay. prfit.biz/accelerator. prfit.biz/accelerator.
And if you listen to last week's episode, you understand that spelling accelerator is 2 C's, 1 L. Okay. Summer camp. So I was trying to tell the team when we were designing summer camp, I'm like, think American hot summer. Look up.
What is it? Wet, hot American
Wet,
summer?
hot American summer. I was like, look up what Christopher Maloney is wearing. I want Brad to dress like that for the Zoom calls. I want people to have hot shorts. I want Elizabeth Banks.
Bradley Cooper was in there.
Everybody was in this show.
Yeah. Paul Rudd.
But it is so here's the thing. The way I see summer camp for OPC is all the best parts of summer camp without the bunk beds.
Without the bugs.
Without the travel.
Yeah.
Without
the mean girls.
Without the mean girls or the weird people or, the shit food. So you can wear whatever you want. Food. You can be off camera if you want. You can actually sign up and watch it later because you'll have lifetime access to the replays. Yeah. But you do want to be... This is a big
event for us, y'all. This is not like 2 workshops. This is going to be potentially all day events 2 days in a row.
It could be we're looking at potentially up to 14 or 16 events in 2 days.
Right.
Crazy. And we've been planning this for over a year because y'all love summer camp so much. Last year, we had the best time with summer camp. And so we are actually promoting it early because we want as many people to be able to do summer camp with us.
Yep.
I'm like, I want camp counselor shirts. I want the whole thing. So opc.me/workshops. The reason why I'm on the wait list, even though you're like, Lesley, you're going to remind me later, correct. But if you're on the wait list, you get the second best prices of the early bird. The people get the best prices are those OPC members who are helping Little Readers Big Change. So you want to be an OPC member to get the best early bird. Second best is the workshop wait list. Third best is hearing from the public. And fourth best is full price.
Fourth best.
Okay. opc.me/workshops. Also, Cambodia. As we mentioned in last week's episode, Brad thinks it's sold out. It's possible it's sold out by now because it's April 4th. But we did schedule already and pick our dates for February 2025. Holy freaking moly. It's going to be so fun. Like I said last week, best sunrises are in the February time, and it's just before the weather gets hot. So you want to go to crowsnestretreats.com to snag your early bird rate for February 2025.
Yeah. And join us. It's going to be amazing. I am so excited.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Our October retreat, the people who are coming on this, I'm freaking so excited. One of our girls is coming for the second year in a row. Because we've made some changes and it's so fun. And we've got some Elevate members coming. We've got some OPC members coming. We've got some people we've never met coming. And it's just going to be a freaking blast.
It's going to be amazing.
So amazing. So crowsnestretreats.com if you are wanting to come. If you're like, let's say when you do retreat somewhere else, I don't have the time. I want to go there.
Yeah.
And you can go, that's my house. Come to my house.
Come to my house.
I would love to do a retreat somewhere else, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the amount of work that goes into putting a retreat on that is an amazing, unforgettable experience is something I could never express. I could never actually share. And so while I would love to do a retreat somewhere else, I also would love, one of the reasons we do a Cambodia retreat is because I think it's really, really important to see places in the world you might not ever see. And a lot of places where people go on retreats just feel like America Light. And I really enjoy submersing myself in a culture that's so uniquely different than my own, and seeing things that it's just takes you out of your normal routine.
Yeah.
You're 12 hours to 15 hours ahead. So you are just really out of your routine. It's not the same time zone as your family. I really love to get out and just be in the village, being around other people and how the world is so different there. So
it's a transformational experience. I mean, I truly believe that when we have the opportunity to experience cultures that are not our own, it changes our perspective in a way that allows us to be more empathetic, more kind to others, more excited for other people, because they're people too, doing life the way they do life.
You're so right.
It's different than the way that we do life, but it allows this polarization that's happening in our, in American society about others, like, those other people, they're bad or something, it allows you to see another culture in a way that is like, whoa, totally different than how we do things, but they're fucking great people too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it also helps you vote with others in mind.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Just a thought
too.
Okay. So go do that. Come with us. Okay. And don't forget,
if you love a good challenge and you're looking for one that's a 4-weeker,
you want to do my challenges.
Do it.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
The Reformer Challenge and Matt Challenge are available anytime.
Yeah.
Which I'm telling you, this is your prompt to sign up now. At opc.me/challenge. You just pick the challenge you want. It's the first week's 10 minutes, the second week's 20 minutes, the third week is 30 minutes, and the fourth week is, do you see the theme? 40 minutes. Do you see how that goes?
Is that how that works?
Yeah. And so I want you to go do it. I want you to have some fun. I want you to get it out of your head and into your body. I want you to do it imperfectly.
Yeah.
I had someone say, this is too fast. And I said, great, do it slower and just skip half the exercises. It's not about being perfect. You don't have to look like me. You're not supposed to do it like me. I even tell you to replace what you can't do with what you can. Pilates is the thing that helps you realize like how you talk and treat yourself. You are allowed to be imperfect and to be in process. And that's what this challenge is all about. And it's super fun. And you learn how to do habits while doing it. So opc.me/challenge.
Yeah. And you can pick either the Matt or the Reformer. How about that?
How about that?
All right. So we had an audience question and it was from Michelle. She said, hi, I'm in a teacher training program that doesn't feel like it's giving me enough information. And I'd love to learn more from you about how to teach. Is OPC your only option?
Yeah.
And I just want to say, first off, I'm sorry that you're in a program that isn't meeting your needs. And clearly as a student, if you're going, what the hell, I expected more, that sucks.
Yeah.
So
it sucks. I got this from our customer service team. And first of all, this is exactly why I wrote my book. Profit applies everything but the exercises. And the unfortunate thing is I don't think as many people get it before they choose a program, and they get it after they choose a program. Yeah. So I'll work on that. But a lot of programs have a lot to be desired. And it's also, I just want to say to any teacher trainers listening, it is not totally your fault. In fact, it's probably not even your fault. You might be doing someone else's program. But the other thing is like, we are an unregulated industry. The Pilates industry is unregulated, meaning that you're a massage therapist. Do you all know, if you're living in the States, your nail technician had to take a state exam, like literally had to take a state exam for you to complain about a $15 pedicure. They had to take a state exam. And in the Pilates industry, there is an organization that has created an exam so you could be truly certified, but there's no regulation in this country. And that means people can create a training program. And there's something great about that. You could just create a training program if you want one and you need teachers. But when there's regulations, there are things like refund policies. There are ways that you can complain about the company. You can be treated with respect. They can't abuse you, things like that. So a lot of programs do have a lot to be desired. And here's the other reason. Even if it's the best program in the world, when you're a new teacher, you cannot learn as much as you think.
Yeah.
It's so much information.
It's overwhelmed.
It is so much information, which is why everyone ends up doing a second training, which means you spend more money. So look, I really do feel for you, Michelle. I love this question. You are not the only person to ask me something similar in the exact same week. So here's the deal. OPC is not the only option to learn from me, but OPC is the most affordable option. So I teach at least half the classes on OPC every single month. And we have themes. And if you like seeing how I connect exercises to exercises, take class with me. That's how it works. And guess what? Take class from the other teachers on OPC because they do the exact same too. Yep. And they do it with different body types. And that is so important. It is. So please, please, please. And $79 a month is not cheap, but it's not expensive. And if you are a teacher, it's a write-off. You can put it as your education. Education and training, y'all. So all the more reason to not be a sole prop, but that's a different story. If you are wanting more, you're actually wanting to learn with me, right? There's a from and there's a with. That would be Elevate, which is our mentorship program. As we were recording this, we just wrapped day 1 of weekend 2. It's another investment. I'm going to be really honest. It is another investment. That's on purpose. I want you to show up for you. And I only want to have 12 people in a group. So in order to dedicate over all the 5 weekends and tons of calls and all the time on one-on-one calls with you, it is an investment, but it is an option. So you can go to lesleylogan.co/elevate to get on the wait list. We're probably going to open up applications for 2025 really soon.
Yeah.
We're really excited. We have so many people who want 2025. We'll probably open up applications, and then based on who applies and who gets accepted, we will pick the times of the days. We already have the weekends picked because we have the retreat picked. But I just want to say to anyone listening to this applies teacher who just feels like their first training program didn't teach them enough, let's just let it go. Just let it go. Just pretend that they did the best they can with what they had. You did the best you could with what you had. And just know that I did 3 training programs. So there you go.
There you go.
Like, and it's because you can only take in so much, and then you have to go teach, and you realize what doesn't work, and you teach again. Anyways.
Well, Michelle, thanks for asking that. If you have a question for us, just reach out. You can DM us on the pod on Instagram. You can hit up our customer support chat. You can text us, all the things. However you want to reach out, just ping us, and we might include your question on the pod. Okay, let's talk about Dr. Debi Silber. Debi Silber, PhD, founder of the PBT Institute, applies her expertise in health and personal developments to her innovative post-betrayal transformation program. Drawing on her own experiences and extensive research, she's developed groundbreaking strategies for overcoming and fully healing from betrayal. And her groundbreaking strategies that she came up with, they went viral. Like, it was like a big deal, and like, boom, that's what like really allowed her to shift into this role, full time.
When I heard about her, I was like, oh my God, we've talked about this, because I think we've talked about other things that are around relationships, family, grief. We've talked about all these other things, sex, all this stuff, but betrayal.
Yeah.
I mean, and so maybe some of those episodes you should go back and listen to after hearing this, because if you have experienced betrayal,
puts a different lens on it.
You may have hated what they said.
Sure.
Anyways, okay, my turn.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved is that we actually talked about how betrayal is a different type of trauma than death, disease, or natural disaster.
Right.
And I think it's easy to put betrayal in kind of like those same experiences of trauma. But she says it feels intentional and we take it personally. And our entire
betrayal feels intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels intentional. And sometimes it might not even be. It might be all about them, but probably is. But our entire self gets shattered and requires rebuilding.
Right.
She said rejection, abandonment, belonging, confidence, worthiness, and trust. These are all demolished and have to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
So if you have been betrayed and you just feel like you are left like an open wound and just shattered, you have. And it's not like you just rebuild a house, or you just start dating someone else, or you go through a grieving process and you remember them on special days. Like, it can be really difficult. And
yeah. Well, she talked about her 5 phases, which, the best thing to do is to go back through. We're going to cover 4 of the 5 phases a little bit later on in the pod. But, she said something really interesting. She said, you don't outgrow betrayal. Like it's, and she has the scientific proof to demonstrate
meaning
that.
if you're a young child and
time doesn't heal all,
and you feel like you're betrayed by your parents.
Yeah.
You don't just like become an adult and you're good.
Right. She was specifically talking about grief and time and the way that we talk about that societally.
Yeah. She basically said time. She said time heals all wounds, but that does not apply to betrayal.
Right.
And she said healing needs to be deliberate and intentional. Like, you actually have to be deliberate and intentional with your healing.
Yeah. And so what's great is that she also has a process, and she goes through like, how does that happen? How do you do that? Right. But I just found it really, really intriguing, because she's not just talking about divorce. She could be talking about family, parents, siblings, best friends,
It could be a coworker.
Yeah. She actually talked about your boss. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that. I've been definitely betrayed at work, in my old job. And I was really hurt by that, but today, like, a couple of years later, I just didn't even think about it until listening to this conversation. I was like, oh my God, that was me too. So there's a lot of context for betrayal in our lives. And she said the amount of betrayal really depends on how close you are to the person and how much you allow them to weigh into your life.
Well, I agree, because like if you're betrayed by a coworker that you saw Monday through Friday, a little bit each day, that is going to be hard and shattering. But if you switch jobs or get them out of your life, it's different than like a spouse or a parent.
Yeah.
Because like it's interesting. Like I was listening to something recently where like certain breakups can feel so hard because it's not that you're grieving the breakup and the past, but also the future that you had with them. And if a betrayal is someone where there's a future that you had seen yourself going down with them, you discussed with them, that's part of the shatter that you're going through, because your future has also changed. Yeah. What you thought was possible has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really fascinating point as well. Now
that I think about it, I feel like maybe there's people in my life who thinks I betrayed them too. So now I just feel like a little bit of a dick.
Well,
it wasn't on purpose. I hope they don't think that. But anyway, I'm thinking about the person, like the way I don't think I always say like, I don't really think I did a great job breaking up with my ex, because I've never broken up with anyone. And like, I'm sure they felt very betrayed in that moment. And I didn't know how, like, I was just like, no, we're just breaking up because I don't think we love each other that much. And one of the ways that I wanted to make sure that they didn't feel betrayed is like, I went through with the court proceedings we had against a family member of theirs, and I pretended to still be together.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that felt like a massive betrayal to them, And so I now think back, like, no wonder they were so shattered. And, when that was all over. So I think it's really interesting. Like, it's even in your kindest or most thought out ways of doing things, you could accidentally make someone feel betrayed.
That's interesting. I definitely hadn't thought of that. I mean, for me, it was the other way around.
I mean, you're so perfect, Brad. You haven't betrayed anyone.
I'm sure I have.
I mean, you did quit your own band.
That's betrayal. That totally is, that's true. And that's a good way. That's a good thing to point out. And like, I wasn't trying to let down who's one of the people in my life who is one of my best friends, and we still, but also like I've had business relationships go bad. I've had, just life, right? Lifes is what we like to say. But still, no matter what the circumstance is, there is a sense of betrayal that can be felt by one party or the other, whether it's as dramatic as a breakup or a divorce, or as, like, hey, this program is over, I'm out. And then the person's no longer in your life anymore.
Well, it's also interesting. Okay, I'm going off topic, but like, I'm just also thinking like, for some of the things where I am like thinking back, like maybe they felt very betrayed by me in that same moment, I also felt very betrayed by them. Yeah. So it's so fascinating how it could be like an equal betrayed experience.
Well, yeah, I think that's
now I need to have her back and have her explain that.
Well, I think it's important to point that out, right? Like, because there's a reason that you chose to leave that relationship, and it was because promises were made and not kept.
Yeah.
And so, sure, it totally makes sense that you would also feel betrayed in that moment, which then was betrayal enough to cause you to take action, right?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this. I'll talk about what I really loved about her after I say this. With my, when my ex and I got a divorce, and then you and I started dating, the story that we've put out there is that I broke up with you 2 times. I mean, I literally did this, so this is not a fake story, but we've told everyone, we shared that I broke up with you twice. And
people hate when we tell the story. They get so mad at Brad.
They get so mad at me.
They get so mad, but he doesn't share.
Well, I don't really share. I wait till a certain point in the story to talk about why I did that for dramatic effect. But the reality of it is, when you're listening to last episode and you're talking about the different stages of moving through betrayal, that Dr. Silber has created, I was almost stuck in one phase, and that phase was like, it was like keeping me where I was, and I was operating out of fear. And the fear was effectively, I felt so betrayed, so hurt by my ex, that I was almost unwilling to ever even put myself in the position again to be betrayed in that manner, right? Which is why when things started to get real, I was like, I got to get the fuck out. Like, I can't handle this. This is too much for me. I can't do it. I don't want to be hurt that way again, right? And so I never really thought of my divorce as betrayal. That term never came into my mind, but thinking about it now, I definitely felt betrayed.
I mean, also, I think so, because I think that, like, how could you not feel betrayed? You thought you guys would be together forever. Like, there's a lot. I think like anyone who hears your story would go, oh my God, I'd felt so betrayed, which is why they stop hating you at that point in the story and start loving you. Well,
on the introspective side, I wonder how she felt betrayed. And I don't actually.
Okay, so now we have to Melissa, we have to have Dr. Silber back, because now I need to know if people who are betrayed, if the betrayer also felt betrayed. I need the studies.
I'm really interested in this now.
Melissa,
too.
are you listening? Does she listen?
Well, okay. So, moving on here, Dr. Silber also said she looks at betrayal as an opportunity to completely catapult yourself to a level that you never thought was even possible. And she said something really interesting about this that that sounds like, just, polish it up and make it like, look good, feel good, whatever. But she was actually, the story that she gave was she was always talking to herself, like talking down to herself. And because she would get lost. So she doesn't, she's not good at following directions or whatever, and would like end up someplace and be like, fucking lost again. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe it. Like, what is wrong with me? Right. And so the story that she was telling herself is like, you're bad at this. Like, how come you always mess this up? And she reframed that in a way that allowed her to completely catapult herself to a new level that she never thought was possible by shifting the way that she talked it to herself and saying, that is just adorable. You did it again. And think about that. Like, you're still probably frustrated with yourself, but you're not berating yourself and beating yourself up.
Yeah. I think that's so important. Even if you've never been betrayed, like, you guys, we talk about this all the time in OPC. You have to, like, how you talk to yourself matters. It really does. Freaking matters. It can literally change your day from being amazing and feeling happy to like being depressed.
Yeah.
And feel like a failure all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I mean, we talk about speaking into existence and be it till you see it. When you reframe the story you're telling yourself, it lends itself to creating an entirely new version of you, right? And then as you have this positive self-talk and you're treating yourself with respect, you start to take a look at all the parts of you that you love, and you start to leave behind the things that no longer serve you, right? And then you start to not tolerate that negative part of yourself anymore, and it just shifts you. It changes you. And so, it really, it's a really interesting idea, and I think it's worth pursuing.
Yeah. I love it.
All right. So finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Dr. Debi Silber? So she's talked about these stages. There are 5 predictable stages. And we didn't actually apparently cover the 5th stage, so I don't actually know what that is. But the first 4...
Another reason to have Dr. Silber back.
The first 4 are the 4 table legs, right? She talks about the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual side of recovering from betrayal. And she said most people focus on the mental and the physical, or actually, I think she said the mental and the emotional. But she said there's 2 that people focus on most. They don't really focus on the other 2 sides. And so you're not creating a stable foundation. So that's stage 1. And stage 2 is shock, trauma, and D-Day or Discovery Day. This is the scariest of all the stages. It's a breakdown of the body, the mind, the worldview, where you've gotten this news, you have a stressful response, which leads to, basically chaos, right? Chaos in your mind, chaos in life. Step 3, then you shift into survival instinct, where you're grabbing anything or anyone to stay safe and alive. You shift into practicality. We were referring to it a couple of weeks ago as 5th gear. When shit hits the fan, go up into fifth gear. You got to power through, figure it out. You never leave time for yourself. You're always operating at this like, when is the other shoe going to drop? Whatever analogy you want to do. And she said this is actually the most common place to be stuck in. And that's stage 3. Stage 4 is finding and adjusting to the new normal, right? So now that like life has shifted, after the chaos and like really the go of stage 3, can you downshift? Can you get back into stage, into a place that isn't quite as, high strung, intense, anxiety driven, all those kinds of things. She said most people get stuck in stage 3. So that said, going back to our Be It action items here, she said, if you are stuck in stage 3, you should write these 4 questions down. Number 1, am I numbing or avoiding distractions? You need to call yourself on it. Like call yourself on the walk to the refrigerator when you're opening the door, even though you're not hungry. Call yourself on the TV, because you're desperately trying to drown out the sound of your own thoughts. What are you doing to distract yourself? Is it video games? Is it drinking? Is it, running? Is it, I don't know what it is. There's just lots of different opportunities. The second question, what am I trying not to see? What am I trying not to see? Again, call yourself on it, such as that health issue that needs my attention, the relationship issue that I'm avoiding, the job that I absolutely hate. There's avoidance, right, is probably a pretty good indicator. And it's hard. It's hard to address these things that we're avoiding, but it's the thing you're trying not to see, right? So number 3, what is life going to look like in 5 or 10 years if I continue to do the actions that I'm currently doing today?
That's a hard, oh my God.
Yeah. I think, I remember when I was going through my divorce, I decided to just start drinking. And, I was drinking a lot and I was feeling like garbage the next day when I would go into work. And after a few months, it was bad enough that I was like, okay, I pretty much hate the way I feel. I can't function. And if I keep down this road, I didn't think 5 or 10 years later, I literally thought like in 2 more months, I'm going to be toast. Like I can't do this anymore. And that was like a really interesting, like introspective moment where I was interested in making a change, So I think this question is helpful to be reflective on yourself. What is life going to look like in 5 to 10 years? And then number 4 is what can life look like in 5 or 10 years if I make a change today? So that's a really encouraging one. That's a really exciting one. It helps you see the future, see the vision of what could be for you if you're going to make a change in your life today. So, when you're stuck in stage 3, which is again, survival mode, basically, these are 4 questions that you can help, ask yourself to help you shift through it.
Yeah. I had the big action item about repeat betrayal. So this is, if you find you keep getting betrayed, she said, you are lovable, worthy, and deserving. But she also said for the big action, you need better boundaries in place. Mm. And we talk about this a lot with the people that we coach, which is you train people how to treat you, just boundaries.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, just because we say that doesn't mean people won't betray you. But I do think you will feel it differently if you had better boundaries in place, because you won't feel like it's happening to you. So I don't know. I could be wrong. Debbie, you can tell me. But the reality is,
you did talk about this because you asked her hey, if I get betrayed again, do I have to go back through stage 3?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but she said, you need better boundaries in place. And she's like, unless there's a benefit in learning the hard way. And she said, as a targeted step, you can identify areas lacking boundary. Reflect on aspects of your life where boundaries are weak or non-existent and set boundaries in place. And here's the deal, guys. Guess what? When you put boundaries in place where there wasn't one, people might feel betrayed by that. You need to understand.
It's possible.
It's true. For my teachers who are listening, if you never charge for late cancels and you start charging for late cancels, people are going to be pissed because you didn't do it before. you have to own that you weren't doing that before. And you have to say, I understand.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize. I understand. This change sucks, but this is business. I got to do it. If you have friends or family members who walk all over you, you know, and you start to like stand up for yourself, they're going to feel upset about that. They might even feel betrayed that you have changed.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you? Eliza Schlesinger will say on her podcast, you guys, I fucking love her podcast. If you know Eliza, I want her on the fucking pod. Like, I haven't even asked her because she just had a baby, but like, yes, I do. Because I mean, what a be it till you see it woman. But she is saying, she always says, we have to be comfortable making people as uncomfortable as they have made us.
Right.
And so
that's fucking hard to do.
She says that too. She's like, I know I tell you what to do. It doesn't mean I do it. But so here's the thing. Like, if you are feeling like people are overstepping boundaries that you haven't enforced,
yeah,
they're making you uncomfortable. And so you are going to enforce them, which is make them feel uncomfortable. But they've been making you feel uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable making them feel as uncomfortable as they make you. And another person I'm going to quote is Lori Harder, which is like, we can't take away other people's rock bottom. So we cannot take away the lessons people need to learn. And sometimes it sucks to be the lesson someone has to learn, but that you are allowed to have boundaries that allow you to do this life better. Because I always say this is me quoting me. You are the only person who can do what you do the way that you do it. And if you burn out, if you are lost, if you feel stuck, the world loses your amazingness. And to be as amazing as I am, there are boundaries in place, y'all. There are. And it's not always perfect. It's not always easy. And sometimes it offends people in ways that I didn't intend. Sometimes I have to go, oh, shit, I didn't fucking think that would happen. Thank you for letting me know. Here's how it was intended. Here is how, like, let's talk about it. And
I'm gonna quote me. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Clearly we're going to have Dr. Debi Silber back. Thanks, team, for already asking her. Thank you for joining us today. How are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. We want to know. Share this with a friend who needs it. Share this with a friend who's constantly feeling betrayed that you just want to give a little shake to and a little tough love to. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time. prfit.biz/accelerator. prfit.biz/accelerator.
And if you listen to last week's episode, you understand that spelling accelerator is 2 C's, 1 L.
Hence the Excel
Well, Excel, you could spell with an
program.
E. So
No, that's Excel. This is Excel.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like
ACCELERATOR. Whoa.